And what we'll do at the start is I'll mute everybody just to kind of cut down on background noise, because that can happen. And then we'll open up the lines later in the call. So let me do that. We are excited to meet with everybody. Mute all. So muting everyone, but we will unmute those later for discussion and Q&A. So good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is well. The consensus is it's a little bit cold in New York for December, but we'll survive. We're tough. You got to be tough to live here. Thank you, everybody, for joining the call. We'll record it, share it. If you have any issues with technology, you can't hear, you can't see, the golden rule with Microsoft Teams, log out, log back in. You can also, if you're having bandwidth issues, go off of camera. Sometimes that helps as well. So a little housekeeping for tonight. We will have about 45 minutes of content. You can load Q&A all throughout the meeting in the chat. If you don't have the chat feature, that's okay. You can kind of connect with your rep afterwards to make sure you have that in the future. Sometimes if you just have a basic version of Microsoft Teams, you might not have access to that chat box. So no stress, you can still play at home, keep along at home as we go. Also, encourage you to keep volunteer connection open. If you have that tab on your laptop or device, we encourage you to have that open as well. There may be occasions where you can jump into there for a little bit of training and have some fun with that. If you have a lot of technical issues with logging in, logging out, trying to get access, there's also a call-in number, and you can call that number as well. If you have other technical issues and you're on camera, going off of camera might make it a little bit easier, make things work a little bit more smooth. You might also notice that it says you're a guest and doesn't have your name. That is totally fine in the Microsoft Teams. It just means you don't have a Red Cross email, and only particular individuals who are administrative volunteers have that email. So this, Linda says no sound. Someone is speaking, I can't hear. Yeah, try logging out and logging back in, Linda. Sometimes that will rectify that. That's always what I do. There'll be occasions throughout the call, like I said, hopefully you have the features for the dialog box to put in the chat. You can put in where you're calling in from, your name, how long you've been with us. There's opportunities as well. There is a little hand where you can raise your hand here. There's GIFs and reactions that you can use as well. Here, they're also down here a little bit. And I do realize this looks a little different on some of the Apple devices as well. So you might just have to kind of tinker around a little bit. They're not all required for the call. They're not going to prohibit your participation in general. Well, this is our team. Hello. Hopefully, you know who your BVWE biomedical volunteer workforce engagement representative is. So if the team wants to be brave and come on camera and give a wave, we're all here tonight, and you'll hear a little bit from each of us round robin as we go through the call. So Sylvia in Rochester, myself, Albany, Ellen, our fearless leader in Rochester as well, Chris Alexich, who is our divisional manager. She's kind of a big deal. Aaron over there in the Syracuse area, Carrie, Buffalo. We are your team. If you do not know who your rep is, reach out to us through the chat here, and we can link you up with your rep. This is our breakdown. So that's the team. This is roughly what we cover. It's all color coded. There's a lot of crossover. So on any given occasion, you might be working with myself one day and then communicating with Aaron for a blood drive on another day. So these are our defined territories, but you are more than welcome to participate and be of service in any county, anywhere within the state. You can also help in other states as well. There's lots of other border areas, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and you're more than welcome to help in those areas as well. We thought it would be great.
I just want to interrupt for a second. Robbie has her hand up.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see.
I put it up
Robbie.
before when you mentioned having our volunteer connections on. Mine's been a little wonky because they're doing maintenance on it.
Okay.
I
Thank you. So there's a little bit of maintenance going on in Volunteer Connection right now. You got a little notification?
Yes, sir.
Good to know. Thank you for calling that out, Robbie. So we thought it would be good. We're coming to the end of the year, and what a year it's been. And Cliff Holtz, our CEO, has a message for us. So we thought it would be nice to open the meeting with this message. Hopefully the audio plays. I think I hit the right tab for it to work. So let's, I'll cue this up for us and we'll get that going. Ta-da. Fingers and toes crossed that it works. And is that working, folks?
No, I can't see or hear anything.
Okay, I'm going to switch to share my screen. So thank you. Let me do that. And can you see it now?
Yes.
All right.
Words that never feel like enough. And that's thank you. As we approach Thanksgiving, I want to take a moment to say two simple words that never feel like enough. And that's thank you. Every day in big cities, small towns, and everywhere in between, you bring our mission to life. You show up. When someone's world is turned upside down by disaster, you show up. When a patient needs blood, a service member needs comfort, a coworker goes into cardiac arrest, or a neighbor just needs to know they're not alone, you show up. In every embrace, every helping hand, every moment of compassion shared between strangers, you remind people that we belong to one another. That spirit, your spirit, is what gives hope. It's what makes the Red Cross a symbol of humanity, unity, and care across the nation. Showing up is what defines us, not just on our hardest days, but on our best days too. Because when we show up for others, we remind the world that kindness matters, that connection matters. I know it can be tempting to retreat into our own circles, to tune out or shut down. But our strength has always come from our ability to connect, especially in hard moments. That connection doesn't require agreement on every issue. It requires empathy and a willingness to act. So, this Thanksgiving, I hope you take a moment to rest, to connect with loved ones, and to feel proud of the incredible difference you make every single day. And for those of you working through the holidays, again, thank you. You're making sure our support never stops, and that means everything. Which brings me back to where I started, with how much I value everything you do each day. So from my family to yours, thank you for being the people who show up, and thank you for being the heart of the American Red Cross.
Thank you. All right. So some nice messaging there from our leader. And let me get back to our slides. Just might take a moment. It's thinking, it's thinking. It's wanting to cooperate. All right. And at this point, I'm going to pass the virtual mic to Carrie Brooks to talk a little bit about some highlights here at the end of our year. So Carrie, take it away.
Thank you, Casey. So we wanted to just highlight some of the amazing work that you all have done this past year, whether that's in Western New York, Eastern New York, or the greater New York region. And also just echoing Cliff's words, I wanted to take a moment and thank all of you who signed up to volunteer either on or on a day directly adjacent to a holiday, whether it's a holiday you celebrate or a volunteer shift that you took because you knew other people celebrate that holiday. Just thank you so much. We really appreciate your support, especially on those days. But to recap this year, in Western New York, volunteers and staff responded to 763 disasters, and almost all of those were home fires. 1,234 families were assisted in that process. We also installed almost 2,500 free smoke alarms in homes throughout the region, and that included fire safety education, and that made all of those homes much safer. Our service to the armed forces, volunteers, and staff provided nearly 1,500 services to active and retired military and their families. That includes resource fairs and events at VA hospitals. Our volunteers and staff also supported over 5,000 blood drives, collecting 111,694 units that were distributed to hospitals and patients. Those are amazing numbers. And then not to forget Eastern New York. Eastern New York also responded to 700 home fires, also helped over 1,000 families, installed a massive amount of smoke alarms, 4,000 smoke alarms in 1,400 homes, trained 50,000 people in health and safety skills, and distributed over 100,000 blood products that were collected at nearly 4,800 blood drives. So good friendly competition from both sides, very even there. So that's amazing. And again, we just wanted to shout out Greater New York. We don't necessarily have statistics, but we know that you still do a lot. So thank you so much. Oh, I forgot about this. Yes, we also wanted to thank everybody who came to our Western New York Grateful Gatherings. These events were hugely successful this year. We had events in Binghamton, Buffalo, and Rochester, and it was amazing to get to see everybody at all three of those events. As always, I was impressed by how many folks came out just to see each other and connect. And some of you came from quite a long ways away to come to each of these events. So thank you so much. And then I'm going to pass it over to Aaron to talk about what's coming up in Eastern New York.
Yeah, so in Eastern New York, we have some holiday events that are happening soon. On December 15th from 5:30 to 7:30, we have an event in Newburgh. In Utica, we have one on December 15th from 5:30 to 7. Glens Falls, we have one on December 16th from 11 to 1. That's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. In Liverpool, December 16th from 5:30 to 7:30. In Albany, December 16th from 5:30 to 7:30. And Watertown, December 17th, 5:30 to 7. If you live in Western New York, you are welcome to attend an event in Eastern New York. For example, if you live in Auburn, you're welcome to come over to the Liverpool Donor Center and join us for a holiday party. Just message your local BVWE rep for information on how to attend and what the details are. Yeah, we look forward to seeing and celebrating with you all.
Thank you. So, hi, this is Sylvia from the Rochester area, and I just wanted to give you some information about some of our upcoming donor promotions. So these are incentives promotions that we have for donors who come and donate blood platelets or AB elite plasma. So the one that started yesterday for the month of December, from December 8th to the 18th, donors who come during those dates, they will receive a $15 Amazon gift card. These gift cards are always via email. We don't actually hand them out at the blood drives, but after they donate, they're going to receive an email with the link to claim their gift card, and then they will receive the e-gift card probably within a week or so. If anybody ever tells you at a blood drive that they didn't receive their gift card, the best thing that you can do is to ask them to call the Red Cross customer number, and they will be able to help them out. And I can speak by experience because this has happened to me. And once I call them, they solve this problem for me, and I've never had any issues. So that's a great tip that you can give to donors if they tell you, oh, I donated last time and I never got my gift card. So this is the promotion from December 8th to the 18th. Next slide, please. December 19th to January 4th, we always have a wintertime, holiday time t-shirt going on. So this is a very nice t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt that donors will receive if they donate during those days. The t-shirts are always available at the blood drives and at the donation center, so you can help us out by distributing those t-shirts, help us make sure the donors can, get their size so they can, wear this really nice long sleeve during the winter. The next slide, please. And then from January 1st to the 25th, this is a promotion that we have going on for a few years now, I believe. All the donors who come to donate during that period of time, they will be entered in a drawing to earn Super Bowl tickets. They will automatically be entered, and this is a nationwide promotion. So one lucky winner will be able to get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. It was actually a whole trip with the tickets to the event. And I believe that is all we have for the upcoming promotions, but during the next meeting, we'll be letting you know what's coming for the spring. And now I want to pass it on to Athena. Athena is our Drive Diversity Coordinator, and she has this role for the entire Northeast Division, and she's going to talk to us about the Sickle Cell Initiative. Hopefully you have been hearing about this, but she's going to give us really good information that we can use to advocate for this program. Hi, Athena.
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much. I have a slightly updated presentation, so I was going to just share, if that's okay. Are you able to view?
Yeah, if you can just maybe just put it into slide view, we should be good.
Hold on 1 second. There we go. Presentation, you can see?
Awesome.
Great,
Good to
awesome.
go.
Thank you so much. So as Sylvia mentioned, my name is Athena Sudum, and it's been my great honor to have been volunteering for the Red Cross for the past 2 years as a Drive Diversity Coordinator for the Sickle Cell Initiative in the Northeast Division. And I worked closely with Ellen Robillard on building out this program, and it's just been a great time. Thank you so much, Ellen. We've done some awesome work. The team's done some great work. So thank you so much, everybody. So I'll go into a little bit more into the basics. So first of all, I'll talk about sickle cell disease. And this is the most common genetic blood disease in the US. It affects about 100,000 people. And these are primarily individuals who identify as Black, African American, or mixed race. And it's a blood disorder that distorts soft and round blood cells into hard and crescent shapes. And it can cause extreme pain. These blood cells can't move as easily through blood vessels, and they also do not carry as much oxygen. So the disease is very painful and requires lifelong blood transfusions. So a single patient with sickle cell disease can receive up to 100 pints of blood each year just to ensure their survival. So blood transfusions from donors who are Black may offer the best outcomes for patients, but currently there are many shortages of the right type of blood to meet this need. So how is the American Red Cross meeting the needs of patients with sickle cell disease? And this is through the Sickle Cell Initiative, and there's been a lot of success with this initiative. It's a national initiative to grow the number of blood donors who are Black to help patients with sickle cell disease and improve health outcomes. So the stated goal is to triple the number of African American blood donors by the end of December 2027. And since 2021, 139,000 plus African Americans gave their first blood donation with the Red Cross, which is fantastic. And we've also provided 290,000 plus sickle cell trait screenings to donors who self-identified as Black or multiracial. So regarding engaging the Black and African American community at the Red Cross, there are 1 in 3 African American blood donors who are a match for people with sickle cell disease. And more than 35% of first-time donors who screened positive for the trait, for sickle cell trait, were unaware of their status. So that's really great health information to have. And African Americans are also the second largest population of individuals with Group O blood. So blood donors who are Black may have a unique ability to help patients with sickle cell disease and support the health of their community. And so Drive Diversity advocates have the unique opportunity to welcome and support the Black and African American community and support those with sickle cell disease. So what is a Sickle Cell Initiative Drive Diversity Advocate? This is a cross-trained blood donor ambassador who supports blood drives which have an African American or Black affiliation. They educate donors about sickle cell disease, and they raise awareness about the importance of a diverse blood supply. And also they share the impact of an individual's blood donation as a member of the Black or African American community. And in this way, the American Red Cross is creating and supporting a diverse donor base to meet the blood needs of patients of all backgrounds. So what do Drive Diversity advocates do? They inform donors about sickle cell disease. They encourage donors to self-identify at the health history booth. They support donors with registering for their next donation, and they also recruit future blood drive sponsors. So I would encourage you to consider to become what your community needs and become a Drive Diversity advocate. So individuals who become Drive Diversity advocates have these qualities. You are a current Red Cross volunteer and have experience volunteering as a blood donor ambassador. You have a willingness, interest, or familiarity in working with diverse communities. You have a willingness, interest, or familiarity with sickle cell disease. You have strong verbal communication skills. And finally, you're skilled or you're willing to expand your understanding of technology. So the next steps to train as a Drive Diversity advocate are as follows. So the first thing is to complete the Diverse Donor Program training in EDGE and watch the 20-minute Drive Diversity Advocate training video. So I just have here the steps. You access the EDGE portal through Volunteer Connection. So here's my profile, and under the profile picture, you can see there's the EDGE link, which you click on. And then in the upper right search field, you search for Diverse Donor Program, and you click on the top link that pops up. Then you watch the 20-minute Diverse Donor Program overview online class. And once you complete that online class, your Drive Diversity Advocate training is complete, and your certification will also show up. And as an optional piece of learning, you can also complete the 47-minute Sickle Cell Initiative Drive Diversity Advocate training in EDGE for further understanding. The second thing you can do is to register to support an affiliated blood drive. And then number 3, you can continue to engage as a Drive Diversity advocate by continuing to support blood drives affiliated with the Sickle Cell Initiative, by communicating feedback, celebrations, or concerns. And finally, by joining the Sickle Cell Open Mic when those meetings occur and sharing your experiences. So there are a number of individuals who will also support your function as a Drive Diversity advocate. These include your local volunteer engagement reps, and they'll support you in identifying blood drive opportunities affiliated with the Sickle Cell Initiative. They'll connect you with key resources and tools to support your role. The next is the Sickle Cell Account Manager, Emerging Market Managers, and they are available at blood drives to support discussions with donors and provide resources and tools to manage the at-drive tasks. And finally, there's individuals like myself, the Drive Diversity Coordinator, and there are volunteer leaders that are available and ready to support you in each division, and they can assist, and I can assist with identifying affiliated drives, registering for shifts, and staying updated on training and engagement opportunities. So that's my presentation. Thank you so much for attending and listening to this presentation. And thank you also to Carrie, Sylvia, Aaron, Casey, and Sean for all of your support and advice. And if you have any support, or if you need support, have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me anytime. I'm at athena.sudum@redcross.org. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Athena. That was super informative. Questions for Athena before we have Sean present to us? Any questions in the chat, or feel free to come off of mute? You may have likely already seen that some of the drives actually will say that they are Latino engagement or sickle cell in the blood drive shift tool. That is a new feature. And some of you may have already been contacted by Athena about supporting this. Any questions? All right. And
if questions come out later, then by all means, just.
Absolutely. And Sean, are you able to share?
I can. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to get to talk to you all today.
Thank you.
Just bring this up.
Just take control.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay, there we go. Well, it is so nice to spend a little bit of time with you. And I just want to start off by saying thank you for all the work that you do throughout the year. I know as a blood donor myself, how welcoming it feels to have someone there that's just greeting you, that's just making you feel good about coming out to donate. And so please know how valuable your role is to the experience that our donors have. So I am going to talk a little bit today about our Diverse Donor Initiative. And my name is Sean Reynolds, and I serve as the program manager for the Diverse Donor Initiative in the Northeast Division. So I get to work with I get a lot of opportunities to work with the local teams across the Northeast. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. All right. So I think it's really important to share what our vision is as an organization, as an enterprise. So we know that growing our donor base is going to be vital to meet the transfusion needs of patients across the country as we continue to grow. So we want to ensure that we're developing that stable, sustainable blood supply, that whenever a patient or a hospital is in need of a blood product, whether it's type O or a match beyond type, we are able to meet that need. And we also want to ensure that we're taking care of our blood donors and helping them to be healthy as individuals as well. So our public health initiative supports community health by investing in health literacy of our donors. So in addition to the life-saving impact of blood donations, blood donors themselves receive critical health-related information through the health history portion of the blood donation process. And for many, these screenings are really an important opportunity to learn about their health and potential health risks that they may have, and then support informed conversations with their healthcare provider. So you can see the sickle cell trait screening there, which Athena had mentioned. That started in 2021, and we've already surpassed 300,000 screenings and are committed to providing 500,000. Hypertension awareness, I'm sure you're familiar with that through the health history process, as well as pulse, temperature, hemoglobin. But one other thing that we did this past year you may be aware of is the A1C screening. So this is a test that's utilized to screen for prediabetes and diabetes, and donors can receive this test once a year. So for marginalized communities that may not have access to that same quality of healthcare, this really provides an opportunity for them to have those insights just as part of the donation process. So at the American Red Cross, we're dedicated to improving lives by working to engage donors from all backgrounds because we are committed as part of our humanity and neutrality to be there to serve everyone at their time of need. And conversely, we want to be able to engage everyone in our mission. Frankly, we need everyone around the table to meet our mission. So you heard a little bit about sickle cell, and so I think it's important to know that blood type, like eye color, so my eyes are brown and my blood type is B positive. Those are traits that I inherited from my parents. And so, in addition to the basic blood types of A, B, O, and AB, there are actually 300 known antigens, and some of them are very specific to racial and ethnic groups. So you heard that in the US, there are over 100,000 people that are estimated to have sickle cell disease, and regular blood transfusions are a part of their life to really manage the extreme pain throughout their lifetime and help them to get through threatening complications. So when patients receive transfusions for a long period of time, they may develop antibodies, and that's where we really need our sickle fighters or those blood donors that are CEK negative, because their blood lacks the 3 proteins that trigger immune reactions. So 1 in 3 African Americans is a match for a patient with sickle cell disease. So it's really why it's so important for us to continue to engage the Black and African American communities. And then Latino engagement. Type O blood, I'm sure you all know that's the universal blood, and it's often the most requested by hospitals. It's what you're going to go to in a trauma emergency situation. And communities of color are very critical to meeting this need. 57% of Latinos and 51% of African Americans have type O blood. And then Latino or LGBTQ plus engagement. So in 2023, in August, so just over a little 2 years ago, the FDA changed their donor eligibility so that it's no longer based on sexual orientation. And the LGBTQ plus community is engaging as a really vital contributor to our nation's blood supply. So through our LGBTQ plus engagement efforts, we are really actively working to repair and build relationships within this community and offer the Red Cross as a place of welcome for everyone. Again, we serve everyone, no matter your situation, and we want everyone to really have that opportunity to engage in our mission. So I thought I'd share a little bit about what are our goals? What are we trying to accomplish in the Northeast Division? And so you'll see up there on the screen kind of the African American and Black blood donations, CEK negative, Latino, Hispanic, and then LGBTQ plus. And the first set of numbers there are our goals for the year. So how many units of blood we want to receive in each of these areas. And then for LGBTQ plus, we look at the number of drives. And so you'll see that as of the end of November, we're at about 96% of where we should be at this point in the year. So we do have some ground to make up in that place. And that's where your role as blood donor ambassadors is so critical. Sharing information about the Sickle Cell Initiative and how important it is to share race so that blood can be tested for those precious CEK negative units. And so you'll see we're actually running ahead with our CEK negative donations for where we are in the year, and then also running ahead in terms of the number of Latino and Hispanic units that we've been able to secure so far this year through the generosity of our blood donors. And then our goal for LGBTQ plus drives, I'm really excited. We have a goal of 21 drives, and my super secret goal is 32 drives, and we already have 18 that have either been held or on the books. So just tremendous work that's being done across the division, and really some fantastic things happening in New York as well. If you're interested about a particular area, you are always welcome to reach out to me, and I'm happy to provide additional information to you. So just know that that is available. So Casey had asked me to talk a little bit to Latino engagement. So I'm going to share a few things with you. So I'll let you read the screen. I'm going to kind of talk to this a little bit differently. So Latinos, you may know, are the fastest growing demographic in the US, and they have a median age of 30, which makes them also the youngest major racial or ethnic group in the United States. And we know that our donor base is aging. And this is one where more than 1 in 5 millennials, and I think it's 1 in 4 Gen Zs, for those of you that like to kind of follow those different groups, and younger are Latino. So those are young individuals, young adults, high schoolers, middle schoolers, elementary schoolers that are starting to learn about philanthropic opportunities. So a lot of what we are doing is really focusing on educating that younger population. So as they grow and decide where they want to invest their time and their heart, their wallet, all of that, hopefully the Red Cross can be a part of those choices. So right now, Latinos make up 19% of the population, and that is expected to increase to 30% by 2060. So as of right now, our blood donors that are Latino are only about 7.4% of our total number of blood donors. So you can see that gap between the 19% and kind of the 7.5%. So as the Latino population continues to grow, remember, 57% of them are type O. So we're going to continue to face a growing gap in ensuring that we have enough type O to really support the Latino community, but also the broader communities as well. So our goal in the Latino engagement space is to double our blood donor base by 2030 so that we can continue to meet this demand and support this community, as well as our hospitals and patients that are in need. So I wanted to share a little bit with you about how the Latino Engagement Initiative is a little bit different than the Sickle Cell Initiative. So the Sickle Cell Initiative very much built around an incredibly important patient need. Latino engagement, the American Red Cross really recognizes with this growing population, not only do we need to engage them as blood donors, but we also need to engage them in their communities to support all of the wonderful work that our organization, all of you, help bring forward in times of, environmental crisis or a trauma situation. So we want to make sure that we are engaging that community and they're aware of the resources that we offer, and that they can also have that opportunity to come and be a part of our mission. So these are a few of the ways that we're really working across the entire organization to make sure that we are prepared and approaching the Latino Hispanic community in a way that feels welcoming, that's inviting, that's demonstrating, our respect for them as part of their humanity and our neutrality. So lots is being done in the cultural competency portion. We're looking at our programs through the lens of a Latino and trying to make sure that we're communicating the right elements, that we're thinking about all of those things that might be important to them. Really looking at how do we deliver our programs, how do we make sure that they're accessible to this demographic, and then also just really building awareness about who we are. I think so many people are familiar with that Red Cross flag and the Red Cross drapes whenever there's an emergency or trauma situation. But as you all know, what we have to offer is so much richer and goes far beyond that through our training, through our blood products, keeping people safe. There's just so much that we offer and bring to the table. And so we want to ensure that we're inviting them and sharing that information. So I provided here, this is essentially a screenshot, and I know it kind of looks, maybe like it could be a little bit bigger, but this is the entire division because I wanted to give you an idea of how many people we're looking at serving in the Northeast Division. So you'll see there, as of fiscal year 2025, almost 5.5 million Latinos that are 18 and up are living in the Northeast footprint. And last year we had 23 unique individual donors that were Latino that donated blood. And based on a lot of information, data that's gathered by people that are a lot smarter than me, they've assessed that our potential just to get to like an average place of blood collections is that we have almost another 24,000 units that we can collect in this space. And once we've been working in this space for a longer period of time, and we have, more drive diversity advocates around the table, and we're really, embracing this community, we're feeling comfortable in our work and doing this, we estimate that there will be over 350,000 potential units from the Latino population. So you can see this is really a tremendous opportunity to not only serve this community, but also to provide that support, that type O to patients and hospitals in need. So just wanted you to understand a little bit of the impact of the great work that you're doing out there. So I'll just share a little bit about the Latino population. So I will share, first of all, that I am Hispanic. My maternal grandparents immigrated to the US in the early 1900s. And I will tell you, this is so exciting to be a part of this work. But that first statement there, Latinos are not a monolith. They come from every different walk of life. They have different political views, different things that are important to them in terms of socioeconomic factors. But I think the things that they have in common is really that rich culture, that history that's really helped to shape who they are. And I think it's important to note that that diversity really leans towards a wide range of perspectives. This is a group that likes to drive change and innovation, known for being trendsetters, especially early adopters of technology. Latinos welcome Spanish, so even if they speak English, they see it as welcoming. So I personally do not speak Spanish. I speak Spanglish, so I can kind of get by. But not everyone from every country that's considered a Latin country necessarily speaks Spanish or has that language spoken in their country. I will say that last point there about family being everything could not be more true. I think this is a very generous community that wants to do its part to help others. So excited to share a little bit about that with you. And this point comes up quite a bit when I'm talking with folks. So I just wanted to stick in a slide to just share with you kind of what the difference is. So we're working on Latino engagement. I will tell you that I consider myself Hispanic and Mexican before I would consider myself a Latina. And part of the reason is because my ancestors were from a country that is of Spanish-speaking descent. And so Latino really refers to places of origin, you're not going to offend somebody by really interchanging these words. I think it's important to understand, if you're going out to a blood drive, who is the community that is there? Are they Mexicans? Are they Puerto Ricans? Are they Spanish? There's so many, things that you can just, take a little bit of time to understand, and then also listening to the cues that people provide to you. But as long as you show up in an authentic way, trust me, no one is going to get upset if you use a term that maybe they are not used to using themselves. They'll appreciate your generosity and willingness to make that connection. All right, and then I just wanted to share this slide on citizenship questions. So again, the Red Cross is here to serve everyone. You do not have to be a citizen of the United States to receive services from the Red Cross. And a prospective donor, a blood donor, does not have to be a citizen or resident of the US to donate blood. And so I've just shared there some acceptable forms of ID, and also want to make sure that you understand, in case you're asked this question, that we're very protective of the confidential health information of our donors. And we really maintain the strictest security measures to ensure that that remains confidential. So that's sometimes the Latino population may perceive the Red Cross to be a government organization and a medical organization, but we want to reassure them that we are not sharing their information outside of our organization. And so the last thing I just wanted to provide for you all as you're out and about at blood drives is a little bit of the flavor of each community, sharing with you cultural events and heritage observances that they participate in. And you may see drives that are built around each of these different special days, or you may see at the fixed site, decorations throughout the course of February for Black History Month. It's just nice to be aware of dates that are important in these communities. It's just a way of helping to build credibility and underline your sincerity and willingness and hope to engage them in our mission. So that is the end of my presentation, and I just included my information here, and I'll make sure that I get this over to folks. And if you have questions, reach out, text me, call me, message me on Teams, email me, whatever works for you. I will be happy to connect with you, and I'll just ask if there are any questions.
And I'll take just a moment on behalf of the team to thank you both. This was so insightful and such impactful information, and we will open up the lines now. I'm sure I don't see any questions in the chat, but I'm sure there's some questions out there. You can click on the microphone to unmute or just put it in the chat. But questions for Athena or Sean? And some of this information was presented several months back, and I'm just like, oh, we have to get them on one of our volunteer calls. I'm like, we've just got to get them on here.
Well, thank you for the invitation, Casey. It's so nice to be able to connect with the mission in this way, and just appreciate all that you guys are doing. And just know that if you have a question later, you're always welcome to reach out. There's nothing that's off the table. I'm happy to talk with you about anything. So we're all learning together.
Absolutely. Definitely. So questions for Sean or Athena, or just broader questions, feel free to come off of mute or put it in the chat. I mean, don't let us off the hook here. How about this? If, as a volunteer, what would be like one or two things that would be most impactful being out at a drive to support these efforts?
From our perspective, sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Either for either, you have a little toss up.
Yeah, I would just say, just being authentic, being your warm, genuine self. People that are volunteering for the Red Cross are here for all the right reasons, and it's sharing that warmth and, I think sharing the importance of why we're asking donors to share their race so that we really can, for the Sickle Cell Initiative, test those blood products to see if that individual may be, CEK negative and be one of those really special people. But it's just helping us to be able to really be there for everyone. So.
Great answer, Sean. I was going to say this
Hello.
something pretty similar. Coming to with an open heart and empathy. Yep.
Oh, is there a question out there?
Yeah, Teresa Rossi, with
Hey.
with my husband Mike. We kept getting knocked out of teams, so
Oh,
we're on the phone. I have a question for one of the diversity speakers. Is when a donor is CEK antigen negative, and I as a blood program leader can see if they are when they schedule, because I get a special symbol, and I always make sure that they realize that their blood is like liquid gold. I tell them, and for sickle cell patients. Now, do you know if it's generally better for them to donate Power Red or a whole blood donation if they're CEK antigen negative?
Athena, do you want to take that one, or you want me to answer?
I'm afraid I will have to defer to you, Sean, on this.
Okay, that's
particular.
fine. Yes, we would encourage Power Red donations for our CEK negative donors. However, if they're not comfortable with that, we don't want to push that on them. But you are so right. Just your approach in sharing with them how really truly special it is for them to be providing this gift, and that they're really in a unique position to fill this need.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And by the way, we're both have been trained in the sickle cell. We've done the 48-minute course and the 20-minute one. So we definitely, my husband and I, really try to engage Latino and African American donors, and try to get them to become repeat donors. Thanks.
That is wonderful.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this subject or just anything in general? Any bugaboos out there? Anything that's been giving anybody any trouble at drives? We'll allow a little bit of, yeah.
I just got one question. I'm up here in the country. Okay, I'm the blood leader for the VFW in Hornell, New York. I'm about 35 minutes away from Hornell, so I'm in Addison. But my question is, what do we do with Mother Nature when all of a sudden she drops snow on us? And the blood team is coming out of Binghamton, New York. And I don't want to put them in harm's way trying to get to Hornell, or our blood donors trying to get to the drive itself. So who has the authority to say, hey, no, let's not do this? And who do you contact to say that, we're not going to have the drive?
So I'll answer part of that, but then I'm wondering, Ellen, if you might want to answer part of that also. Okay. So I sit on a call every Tuesday morning with the heads of the biomedical regions across the Northeast Division. So I will tell you that weather is something that we're really starting to talk about very much in advance. They're really looking at and monitoring the situation and determining if they need to cancel some of those drives. And I don't necessarily know the inner workings of that process, and maybe Ellen could lean in there.
Sure, I'd be happy to. And Jim, thank you for the question. It is a really important topic this time of year. First of all, I can tell you that daily phone calls take place evaluating things like weather, weather alerts across various counties, travel time, and those very things. I am on those calls, so I assure you that those are taking place. If you want, from your perspective, being there to relay information, the account manager is in fact the best person. If you are the BPL, you should have contact with them. Is that sounding familiar at all?
Yes.
The account manager? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
person you want to go to. And I, the earlier the information, the better. But this is definitely something that is, top of our awareness this time of year.
Yeah, because like I say, our drives up there start at 1:30. The team has to
Yep,
come out of Binghamton, which you're almost talking 2 hours.
exactly.
And we're not talking straight, straight shot
Yep.
drives. They got to go up over mountains and everything
Yep.
else.
I can
So I,
guarantee you again, Jim, we look at that, we departure times, travel times, routes, throughway warnings, any of the specific county information that's being relayed is evaluated literally on a daily basis.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's a great question. We have another question, and if you're okay, Ellen, I'll bounce it off you.
Sure.
Sharon, from my region, it's getting cold, and the donors, their hemoglobin levels are coming up low since using the automated testing. What is the status with hand warmers? Are they coming back into use? And Sean was giving a hoorah to encouraging people to use those hand warmers.
Yeah, that's a great point. I completely agree with you. I will be happy to pass that along to our partners in the actual collections teams. I hope so. It may be a supplier distribution issue. I'm not too sure, but yes, those should be used if available, and I will be happy to pass that along.
I'll just add 2 cents on that. As a Latina, I have frequently struggled with my hemoglobin levels. They're just naturally lower. And kind of funnily enough, the last 3 times I've donated this year, which were all like during the hot time periods, and I was in the cold air conditioning, and my hemoglobin registered too low. So not even during the winter time. And then use those hand warmers, and I was good to go. It's just really about getting that circulation going. And I will tell you, this is my personal soapbox. I think the collections managers get a little annoyed with me, but there should be hand warmers at your drive. So if they're not using them, please ask to get them out.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They should be there.
Hi, it's Teresa Rossi again, blood donor ambassador. I find that at the drives, what my concern is having a sufficient supply of the hand warmers. And I have donors all the time that thank me so much for passing out those hand warmers, because they've been consistently, gotten low hemoglobin readings. And after they use the hand warmers, and I tell them to take them right into health history. I give them out at the at registration, and they're switching back and forth on their thumbs until they take them away from them in health history. And they're telling me all the time that it's made such a difference. So, but we need enough of them. Sometimes I'll have a drive with 50, 60 people and only 6 hand warmers. That's not enough, so
Yeah.
just want to put it out there.
Well,
Thanks.
Teresa, thank you for doing what you do. And again, I will pass that along. I agree with you. I mean, I think that that's a good supply to invest in, and to have available. I will mention that. I mean, Jim, I see you made a comment here about we don't have access to hand warmers at registration. The teams hands them out, on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis. It's, the supervisor on site or the charge. It's their determination of the best way to actually facilitate that day of the drive. But I'm happy to hear they're there, and
Yeah,
at
well, I
any
know where
point.
they are in the coach, so
Oh,
I
okay,
just
Teresa.
yes, I say I'm going to grab the hand warmers. Yeah, go ahead. Because the thing is, if they're giving them out in health history, they've only got a short period of time to get the thumbs warmed up.
Hmm.
If we give them out at registration while they're waiting to go into health history, they're warming their thumbs.
Hmm.
So it can make all the difference in the world, as to
Oh.
when they get the hand warmers
Yep.
too.
I'll
So
I'll be happy to pass that input along.
thank
Well,
you.
and I would just encourage all of you to be the squeaky wheel in this case and share that information back when it's occurring, because that's what's going to ensure change. So just keep being that voice, please.
And another good vehicle for that, in addition to me being happy to take that input, is to complete your post shift survey and add that as a comment. We do share those comments with the collections management across the state, and so it's it's always good to see it there as well.
But very much appreciate the proactiveness displayed by Teresa and others, and I think that's something that we talk a lot about as volunteer program managers, is really encouraging you to feel that it's your, it's your shift. If you need something, respectfully ask for it. And if you're not getting the answer you want, you have the post shift survey, you have us. I have folks text me and call me from drives and, put a little bug in my ear, and that's what we're here for. So definitely continue to use that respectful, proactive approach, because I think you can kind of guide some of the collections team along in that respect, and educate them along that, okay, yeah, maybe we should have these at registration. So good call out. We're over on time, so if people have to leave to go take out the dog, have dinner, you can do so. We'll hang out as a team for a few more minutes and answer questions, but if you have to bounce, feel free. We'll share the slides and video in the next few days, so you can go back and review all of that robust information that was shared with us. But if you need to drop, go ahead, but we'll hang out for a few.
Yeah. If I could just for a second, Casey, want to just express my thanks for your attendance tonight, your thanks for being part of our program and part of our team, and also to express our wishes for the happiest of holidays coming up. So,
Well said. Robbie.
Robbie.
Hi, thanks. I just unrelated to anything we've spoken about tonight, but something I found out over Thanksgiving, which I don't believe was shared by Red Cross. And I don't know, didn't know about it or whatever, but I just found out that all of our miles are tax deductible as long as we itemize as volunteers. So
I can neither confirm nor deny that, Robbie. You'd have to take a look at the.
I did check it out, and it does seem to be accurate. You just have to be willing to itemize and track it in case you're ever audited.
There you go.
But there are apps that do that for you, free apps. So if anybody's interested, it's like 14 cents a mile.
Thank you for sharing that. Very cool.
I got one question for Ellen. What's going on with these the book it? I mean, at my drives, either they don't have the tablets, or the tablets they do have are dead and we can't use them. And I figure that if we had people that are interested in booking, that for the next time they can donate, they could do that while they're in the canteen if we had those books.
Absolutely.
But like I say, all the drives I've been at, all over the place, either the books aren't there or the books are dead.
You're talking about the tablets, right?
Yeah, the tablets.
Yeah. Again, thank you for thinking about that. That is an important process. If you want to provide your rep with the specific like days and drives, will be able to pass that along to a specific person to know that they are supposed to be doing their part by providing providing the supplies. So if that's not happening, please let us know and we'll pass that along. They should be there.
Okay, and just one thing of just something I found out when I did a college drive. I already told Carrie this. We had students that wanted to give blood, but we have to have either a driver's license or a photo ID or a military card. Well, guess what? At this college, their college didn't have a photo ID on it, and 3/4 of these kids don't even have driver's license or IDs.
Yeah.
For instance, so how we can't get around it in any way, can we?
No, unfortunately, that's not us. That's that's a FDA requirement. So that's not us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, just in my personal knowledge, that a lot of times at a college, a photo ID would be like your student ID, and you do quite a lot of things with it. If this particular school, that isn't the case, or it was just too early in the semester for that to happen, that's definitely something that an account manager would need to know about as well, and they can maybe look for a good solution to that. But that's a little bit out of my lane.
Yeah, I already let my my accountant manager know about it.
Okay.
But this school, and I already talked to the person that was in charge of this school. All their IDs just have the picture of the school on them.
Yeah.
And their names on the back. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I probably turned away. I probably think 15 or 16 people that wanted to donate because I couldn't have an ID.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yep.
But as I said, it's not our thing. So
okay.
There is a comprehensive list. I'm sure I've got it downloaded somewhere, but there's a full list of acceptable IDs on redcrossblood.org. If you just search acceptable IDs, so maybe there's a creative solution in there that might help. That maybe the account manager can prime those accounts in the future of, hey, here's the acceptable IDs, and be a little more proactive, to your point, Jim, and maybe have some options.
For example, I've heard that at high schools, there is a provision for school officials to verify ID, and maybe that can be done at this college with the registrar's office or something. Who knows? I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, Sylvia, you have your hand up.
I'm
I
sorry.
do, but let's let somebody else go first.
Okay.
It's Teresa Rossi again. What Casey was referring to was secondary ID list, and there are quite a few things on there that you don't really realize can be IDs. They don't have to have pictures, but like 2 credit cards with the same name, as long as it's got the same name, a library card, a Price Chopper or other shopper card, as long as you have 2 items that have the same name. So if it's got your maiden name on it and a married name on another, then that's not going to work. But there's a lot of different things that people can use. I've used a car insurance slip of paper and their car registration that had the same name, and that was acceptable. So there's a lot of ways around that. Because I can't believe having to turn away that many people, for no ID. And there's a lot of drives that I've done that people don't have like the typical driver's license or donor card. And only once in all the drives in the 5 years I've been doing drives someone didn't have anything that was acceptable. So either have them go dig in their glove compartment or their wallet and lay out everything, and I said, well, that'll work and that'll work, so good luck.
Sandra, thanks, Teresa, for that. Sandra?
No, I was going to say about the same thing. I mean, we even send people out to their car to find the car insurance and their registration, which has their name on it, and that'll work because you have 2 forms of ID and they don't have pictures on.
Good point. Great.
See, the answer is in the digital room here.
Sylvia, was there anything you wanted to add on?
I did have a question for Sean and Athena. This one of the slides indicated, like in order to get the sickle cell trait screening, you have to identify it as a Black or multiracial. So, if somebody maybe it's not sure their background, so they don't know if maybe they they could have a percentage of their ancestry that is Black or African American. Maybe they suspected, or maybe they did one of those DNA things and they found out like there's a small percentage, but there is something there. Do you think they should identify so they can get that screening? Yeah.
Yes.
And if they don't have it, then should they self-identify as something else after, or just keep it that way? I don't know if that would make a difference, like if, they don't need the screening every single time.
I believe it's only tested the first time. Athena,
Okay.
can you or Ellen confirm that? I think it's only tested
I
the
believe
first
so.
time when you select that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
then
if
there's
there's
like,
a chance, then
yeah.
it's recommended then to do it
Right.
that way.
Yep. And then subsequent donations would be matched up to the same donor profile.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
This is a point too that was brought up to me by our local account manager who kind of does like all our sickle cell drives and stuff. She brought up that even people who are of like Mediterranean descent have marked themselves as like interracial or of mixed race, and they've actually come up because of just the proximity of the continents. So, I mean, my understanding is that there's kind of no harm if there's any thought process that there might be a chance. There's kind of no harm in doing it. I don't want to kind of say that if that's not the case, but that's been my understanding.
Well, Sean just had great example, Carrie. So
okay, so we're good.
you got the thumbs up from the expert.
We're in the clear.
So. Oh, wow, what a great meeting this has been. I've learned a lot today too. So, yeah. Anything else we can address for anyone? And I will also just quickly say thank you to my team for putting this great presentation together, and especially our guests, Athena and John. It's just been wonderful. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you so
And
much.
be on the lookout for an invite for the next quarterly meeting. It'll be March, believe it or not, which is pretty wild. So we'll look at what kind of theme. And if you have questions or anything ahead of time before one of these meetings, let your rep know. And it's certainly something that could be folded into the content. Or if you ever want to share a mission moment or would like to be spotlighted in any of our marketing materials, things of that nature for our local chapters, let us know as well. There was an ask for that yesterday on one of our chapter calls for people with mission highlights and things of that nature. Robbie, your hand is up again.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I don't know what all goes in to setting up the blood drive and how much work, but I was in another one today that was at a workplace, and all I had to do was the canteen because they had their own people there to do all the registration. And that man had nearly everybody who walked through that door to give blood today signed up for their next blood drive in 2 months. So he was awesome. So I think you can do that more at a workplace than you can at like a general kind of blood drive.
Because they're going to be there, right?
They're going to be there anyway.
Yeah. That's great.
And I'm like, wow, that was awesome.
Love it.
But if we can, get into more, employment places like that, where they are captive and they are being paid to be there to give blood, and it's a fantastic opportunity that I hope is well tapped. I just thought I'd throw that up there.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe it's a model that can be sort of like, you could take that concept and use it at the American Legions or the VFWs or the YMCAs, maybe, because we heard that on the last call too, that someone did like a ridiculously high percent of book now rebookings at a drive that I believe it was the BPL, the blood program leader at that drive, but would love to hear those stories if people have tips, tricks, strategies that they're using, because there is a growth plan. And so we definitely hear the frustration when you're eager to do it and they're not charged and they're not at the drive.
Right.
So we have to kind of bridge that gap, we'll work on that. for sure.
But I love that this is a hot topic because, you know, we've been asked to make it a hot topic
Yep.
with you. So
We need to deliver.
all right.
Anything else? Sean, Athena, thank you for sharing your time and your expertise with us.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We'll give it a
I think we're
moment or
good.
two, but everybody
Yeah.
have a wonderful evening. Be well. Happy holidays. Stay warm.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks,
Happy holidays,
everyone.
everyone. Thanks.